Hello. My name is Naisha, and today I want to talk to you about Project Ta, which is by Drew Austin. It is it's the first book in the Five Worlds series, and the description goes a little something like this. Part of the award-winning, Kaylin Taylor is on the path to success. He's just won a scholarship to the prestigious Sanderson College of Arts and Science to study medicine. He's also about to do something very, very stupid in the name of becoming one of the N kids at college. It sounded simple at the time. Sneak into a branch of the top secret interstellar scientific company Gentech, take a photo of the genetically engineered creature Project Ta that's supposedly inside, and sneak back out again. Cue membership of the college frat house, cue popularity, and Improve lifestyle, right? Unfortunately for Kalen, simple doesn't mean easy. Now he's facing a life of slavery, assuming Gen's tech training doesn't kill him first, and if he doesn't find a way to escape soon, it'll be too late. Also, the first thing that I was about to read was part of the award-winning five-word series containing strong language. About the author, because I do like to talk about like the author as well. Jude Austin, also known by her online handle Judas FM, has been writing online and offline for several years and is the author of the award-winning Five Words series. She currently lives in Chiba, Japan, and spends her days gaming, working on her next 3 or 4 books, and binge watching far too much Netflix and YouTube than is good for either her or her writing career. She is a staunch supporter of fanfic, Never Giving Up, and Squid. Her preferred genre is sci-fi realism, which translates to character-driven, non-dystopian science fiction without the advanced science, aliens, AI/robots, especially AI/robots, are epic space battles, finding it far more fun to write about other worlds and cultures. She is intensely optimistic about the future of humanity as a whole, possibly to the point of delusion, and her one regret is that she'll never be able to visit any of the worlds she creates in person. You can follow her on Twitter at JewAustin18. Visit her official site and subscribe to her author newsletter for news or current future projects. I would definitely put a link in the description below. If I can't do that, I'll probably put it down in the comments. So be aware of that. Now to the part where we all been waiting for, which is to know, like, what's my opinion. Now, before I give you my opinion, just want to let you know that sometimes I do talk about what's in the novel, and yes, it will be spoiled for you. So I'm just gonna warn you now that well, I'm definitely going to spoil it for you, just in case, because when I do reviews, I definitely like to talk about like what I actually like about the story. So yeah, fair warning. There will be spoilers. So if you want to watch it yourself, you're gonna have to go to Amazon and um yeah, you're gonna have to go to Amazon and get the book on Kindle yourself. Now, um, the thing that I enjoy about this novel was Kalen. Um, he's very relatable, and there was so much things that was going on with him that I sympathized. Kalen is described as a shy, nerdy, overweight, kid. He's 17 years old, and he just wants to fit in. He, like, during the whole book, um, he would talk about, like, basically how he wanted to fit in, and also how he was bullied back on his planet of Trandelia, and because he's on this new planet and he's going to school, he thinks like, okay, I could, change myself. And it turns out being the wrong thing for him. Not to mention the growth of his character development that was in a good pace. Like, it was a good pace. It wasn't like, oh, bam, things happen and he changes quickly. No, it gradually, like, goes on and on. You see exactly what type of person he is and things like that. And I enjoy that about him. I also enjoy the banter between him and most characters. Kaylin has, especially when he is turned into a project. Kaylin humor, especially dark humor, comes out. It comes out a whole lot. He cusses more. Like, in the beginning, he cusses a little bit, but it's not to the point where it's like, you know, it's not to the point where, like, it makes you like, oh my goodness, like, it's kind of like nonchalantly, like, he'll say like damn or shit, like, but he's saying fucking, he's saying fuck, he's saying you sick bastard, son of a bitch. Like, I'm just saying, he goes on, and I like the fact that, like, and then he does, he says like these crude jokes to Dennison, who is one of the main villains in the story. I also like the friendship between Kaylin and Ta, Project Ta. Like, in the beginning, he thinks that Ta is stupid and dumb, but then he realized that Ta's not stupid. He's just very curious, and none of the doctors or trainers in this facility, they don't talk to him, they don't answer his questions, and they always say to him like, yeah, you shouldn't be asking those questions, like a project, like, you shouldn't be asking these questions, because they think projects are basically on the same level as animal and is beneath humans. So yeah. um I also thought like the dynamic between Kaylin and Ta was lighthearted and funny, because they do have some funny moments um, in this novel, especially when Kaylin, he when he what's the word, when he uses like phrases from a movie, and of course Todd's not gonna know what he's talking about, because Todd don't really know anything about movies, because again, the doctors and trainers don't really tell him about anything. They just train him to be strong and to endure pain. That's it. I also like the pacing of this novel. Like I said, about the same thing I said about Kaylin's character development, is not fast nor slow. Same thing I would say about the pacing of the book, of this novel. Usually you have novels like things happen too slow, things happen too fast. You rarely get a novel that's like basically just right. And I feel like Project Ta is one of these novels that's just right, in my opinion. Another thing I like about this is to learn a little. The Another thing that I like about this novel is that you get to learn about like different planets, which I thought was pretty cool. Like, I like the fact that Drew took time to like think of different planets, and stuff like that, like Trendelia, Bazaar, Akin, Sanad, and also that, but how each people on each planet on how they act. I like that too, cause and we get a lot of that, especially since our main character is Trandelian. We get like at least we get to know what Trandelians are like. Now, for the things that I just wasn't feeling, um, I felt like Jude Austin could have given us more details on each planet, because like again, you do like you do get a little teeny snippet of each planet, but you don't get a lot. And I really wish we get more, because I would like to know more about Sanad, Bazaar, especially because that was the planet that Kaylin was on for school. I would like to know more about that planet. I mean, a bit more about Trendelia, um, even the old world terrorists. They mention a lot, and they do give again, a, just I think is a bit of information, but not. But I, like just because of who I am as a reader, I like to go in. I like to know more, and I just feel like we should have got more. And she didn't even have to like tell us it in the novel. She could just have like, because I don't know if other people read the backs of different books. But for example, I'm gonna say Breaking On has a list of all the coven, the people in the have the list of all the covens, the people in the covens, whether people are gifted or not. And I kind of wish that Drew Austin would have like in the back have basically the different planets, the description of each planet, and also the description of each people on the planets, like how they are, their personality, and things like that, and also some of the organizations and things like that, like because all we know about Gen Tech is that they clone they basically clone human like human. They just do they clone like humans and stuff like that. That's all we know. And they sell them to anyone who like needs like a project to either form or mime or just mine or just do any other thing, or like for the military and things like that. So yeah. Um and then Core Central, because you hear about that line in this book too. So yeah, I wouldn't mind like there being like a list of all the things, like a list of information about all the things in the back, like about like all the planets, the organizations, and things like that. Um, I want to say another thing would be I prefer if we just I prefer just Kaylin's point of view. Like I get it. I know it makes the story come as a whole. It makes the story a bit better if you do it from different points of view. But I would really prefer Kaylin's point of view. If we have to have from anybody else's point of view, I would like it to be a little bit more about of Project Tar as well, because it's like because like you get snippets of what's going on. Well, yeah, you get snippets of what's going on, but it's like I wouldn't mind knowing, like when I wouldn't mind knowing when for him it clicked that something wasn't right. Like I would like to know what clicked when he knew that like he wasn't treated right and stuff like that. Because again, Kaylin, known as Kata. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention that another thing that I like is that, like, I think at the end of chapter 3 or chapter 4, but one of those chapters, um, he basically, him and Dennison, they go back and forth, and he says, and Dennison is, and both of them are tired, but Dennison is trying to force Kaylin to say that his name is Project Kata, and there's a moment where basically, Kaylin's like, my name is Project Kata, and then instead of like seeing Kaylin this and Kaylin that, now because he said his name is Project Kata, he's going by Kata now. And I thought that was a cool little thing that happened. But back to what I was saying before. Um, like I said, I would have preferred that, like, to get his point of view, because I get it. Renfield's point of view was needed and stuff, like, I get it, but it's like you could also do that without us having to see and stuff like that. Like, that's just me. But other than that, that's about, like, that's yeah, that's all that I didn't like about it and things like that. So it's not too much of, you know, it's not too much, but overall I did enjoy the story. I thought it was pretty good. Um, I would definitely recommend this story to people who like sci-fi, but not only sci-fi, but they like, again, like character driven stories, like sci-fi realism as well, and like also people who not focus on the AIs or robots, or like the lasers and things like that. Also anybody who is a fan of psychological, like, thrillers or horrors, I feel like you would like this too, because there are some psychological moments in this, especially because there's a moment where they're trying to tell Kaylin, who they say is Project Kata now. They tell them, like, oh, you have memory implants. You're not really a human. You just got human memories, and trying to make it seem like he's not human. Like there's no proof that he's human and things like that. And I just like the fact that Kaylin, well, Kata, I like the fact that Kata kept his trump card, which was the fact that he has a scar, and that scar, like, every Trandelian has that scar. And I'm glad he kept it and stuff, to show, like, yeah, I'm actually human and things like that. So, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you like anything that deals with psychological anything, you will definitely enjoy this story. Um, I would definitely rate this story a 4 out of 5. Like, even though I do think this is a good story, um, I feel like it would have been better if, again, there was more information about the planets. Not only that, um, I noticed that there was moments. Now, I don't know if it's like a grammar error. It probably isn't a grammar error, but like there were moments where, like, he would say something. I wasn't sure if it was him speaking like a Trandelian or if there was a mistake. So that's another thing. But other than that, yeah, I do give this a 4 out of 5 stars, and I do recommend this to anyone who enjoys sci-fi realism novels, and with a touch of psychological, like, thriller, in my opinion. Because, yeah, but that's all I have to say about this book. I think Jude Austin did a great job, and I cannot wait to read Homecoming next. If anyone else has read this novel and they want to put their input on it, please don't. I mean, please feel free to basically comment below and tell me your opinions, what you like about the story, what you didn't like about the story. What do you rate the story, and who would you recommend the story to? And if you want to like, subscribe, and comment and share, you can. Um, so until next time, see ya.